Hello everybody, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Brooke if you guys are new here, so excited to have you. Today is going to be a fun and interesting video. We're going to talk about my best and worst purchases from 2020. 2020 was a terrible year in and of itself, and of course I had some naturally horrible purchases, ways I spent my money, but then I've also spent my money in some great ways that I'm really happy about. So we're gonna bring it all together in this video, do a best and worst. Let me know if you guys have any interest in seeing more, I don't know, do we consider this like financial, more money, financial sort of content on my channel? I think these videos are really fun and really interesting, and they could help you, decide if you're willing to make a purchase for something or if you should spend or splurge or save. And yeah, so be sure to subscribe if you guys are new here. I'm 23 years old, I live in New York City. I post really fun like weekly vlog content, and it's a good time around here. I'm really excited for 2021 to hopefully make some better decisions. Woo! We're gonna kick it off with the worst purchases because I think this is the tea that everybody really is interested in mostly, and I have everything listed here on my phone. Okay, first up, my NESPRESSO LATTISIMA machine. I'm going to put a picture of this on the screen right here. I no longer have this item in my possession because I did sell it. There's a lot of questions probably like, what? I saw this NESPRESSO machine, coffee machine, whatever, on Instagram. It was one of those things that I just saw on social media, and I really liked the aesthetic look of it. I thought that it went with kind of the vibe of my apartment here. I was like, it's modern, it's sleek, will look great on my counter. Okay. It has a built-in milk frother, so I was like, I'm gonna end up saving money, whatever. I thought it looked great because it had everything kind of built into one. This machine is also way more expensive than the traditional Nespresso machine. It's just a machine that you put pods in and it creates espresso or coffee drinks for you if you've never heard of Nespresso. This one was around $400, which is way more than just the normal average priced one. I should have known because the machine had pretty poor reviews online, and I was like, nah, they don't know anything. I've had Nespresso for a while, like this is gonna be good, because I've had other machines of theirs in the past. I got it home, I started using it, and just something about it wasn't the same. I think also I am really used to, slash I prefer, the Virtue or the Virtue line. That one, I just find that there's more options available. I like the taste better. This one was in their original line. All the coffee kind of had like a slight, almost like burnt taste. It didn't taste right to me. And just the machine in general, like with the milk frother built in, it was super complicated to clean. I just didn't like it, and definitely not worth that high cost. So I ended up selling that to a subscriber. I posted on my Instagram, so I did end up making some money back, but the resale value is never as high on like consumer electronics, I feel like. And then I ended up I had it in storage, my other like older Nespresso machine, and I have been using that one again and loving it. And that is just the regular Virtue line. I can link that one down below. It's like less than $150 versus the $400 that I paid just for the aesthetics. It wasn't it, I will say. Well, this year was a mess. Obviously, we all survived. If you're watching this, a global pandemic, we are still in it. And with that came a lot of like crazy choices and decisions. So I was living in Boston at the time, and when that week of March 13th hit, I spoke to my parents and I decided to pack up really just a suitcase or two and drive back to Long Island, New York, where I'm originally like born and raised, where my like family home is. Little did I know I'd end up staying there for several months. I wasted a lot of money on rent for an apartment that I didn't even live in. I went back once just to kind of handle some things. I didn't end up using the space, like making the most of it. It didn't make sense. So I was paying all this money in rent, not living there. I had no desire to live there. I wasn't sure what the best circumstance to do was, so I just waited until my lease was up. And then I canceled it, moved home for a little bit, and then ended up moving here to New York City, where I'm so happy. And this was a great decision, but I definitely wasted, let's see, so like half of March, April, May, half of June. So almost like 3-ish months of rent. And my rent in Boston was so expensive, you guys. It was just so stupid and pointless. I definitely regret not trying to get out of that lease a little bit earlier and putting my stuff in storage to save some money. But I feel like that's one of those situations. In hindsight now I know, but then in the moment I had no idea. And I think a lot of us have had to like make weird decisions like that. I mean, that week of March, whatever, like changed everybody's lives, So I regret it, but at the same time, that was a side product of 2020. Next up, a designer purchase purchase here. I know that you guys are always interested in this stuff that I end up liking or regretting, whatever. This I actually purchased at the very end of 2019 in December, so I am still gonna count it as 2020 because I purchased a few designer items last year, but this is really the only one that I have in the like regret category. Worst purchases, I guess we'll say. This is the GG Marmont mini top handle bag. Color, it's cute, it's pink. Honestly, this is one of those purchases that, like a lot of my worst purchases, are impulse purchases. I went to Gucci one day with my mom. I kind of had an inkling to buy myself something nice, but I didn't have anything picked out. I didn't have really any concept of what I would buy for myself. I just was like, hey, I want to like spend money on myself today. Why did I have to do that? I don't really know. And I'm all here for treating yourself, but I feel like if you're gonna buy something that's thousands of dollars, it should be something that's thought out and that you know you're going to actually use and like make the most of it. So this is the bag that I ended up getting. When I was purchasing it, I was like, this is the greatest bag ever because the straps come off like this. So you can kind of have your little like dinner bag, if you will, or you could do it kind of as a crossbody. It is a pretty small bag. The big thing about this is I just don't know why I got this color. I think it looks really cute. It's a pink color. I'm a pretty simplistic person. I really need my bags to be like a light tan color or just like a black, gray, more neutral tone. I thought that I would be able to pull off like a bag of color, and it still is kind of like neutral toned, I guess. But for the outfits that I wear and for especially this year, I reach for this bag only a handful of times, like definitely not nearly enough. I definitely still think it's a really cute bag, but for the price, I could have saved up and bought myself something that I would be wearing every day or just spent my money in a better way. It still is like a really nice bag, I will say. I sold a bag on The RealReal, which is a luxury like consignment website, and I'm thinking about possibly selling this one too because it's in great condition. So I will link The RealReal down below because that's a great way to kind of get rid of this stuff and still make some money back. Because I feel guilty for just having it like sitting in my closet. It's not it, even though the bag is super cute. I know you guys are gonna comment and be like, that bag is so cute, use it more, but with what outfits? Oh, it's tough. Next up for worst purchases. This is just in general, it's streaming services that I don't use. You guys, the amount of streaming services that I subscribed to this year was insane. And I'm like the person that I flip-flop with them. Like I'll do one for a little bit and then I'll cancel it, but then sometimes I forget to cancel them. So the ones that I really just were just worst purchases because I basically never use them were CBS All Access, Disney Plus. I think those two are like the worst. The ones that I'm consistently like subscribed to that I do really like are Netflix, Hulu, and I just got HBO Go, which has a lot, or HBO Max, but it's, yeah, I think that's what it's called, that has a lot of content on there. These are just like small costs that I feel like really add up, and especially if you're not using it, like if you're not watching any shows on it and you're just paying a subscription fee of like 8, 10, sometimes even more a month, it's not worth it. Disney Plus I remember getting, I was like, this is so fun. They have all the Pixar movies. I watched a bunch of them, and then what? Like, I'm still subscribed to it, paying for it every month, giving my account info to my friends so that they could watch too. Like, it was just a lot. I just feel like you can consolidate these like pretty easily. On that similar note is just in-app purchases or just like subscriptions. I'm one of these people, I'm really ambitious sometimes, and I'll be like, I'm gonna do this workout program and like pay for a subscription to a workout app or something. One specifically I could think of is the Kayla Itsteens, is that what it is? The sweat app. For some reason, I didn't think to, you know, pay for it monthly. I decided I'm gonna pay for the whole year. It was like a couple $100s. I never used it. It was such a waste of money. I feel like if you are going to jump into a fitness program or something, definitely take advantage of free trials. Make sure that you actually like it and make sure that it's something you're actually going to stick to before you just throw money at it. Throwing money at a problem doesn't make it like just work. And lastly on here, I mean, this is definitely pandemic related too, since we're all staying at home more, but my Uber Eats and DoorDash and Postmates and Grubhub and every food delivery app, it's been off the charts. I can't even, I'm embarrassed to share how much I went through and looked, and I was like, girl, you have to get it together from a spending perspective and also from a health perspective. I was like, what am I doing? So that is definitely something I want to cut down. And it doesn't have to be like none at all, but maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks instead of like 3, 4, 5 times a week. That is insane. There was one point over the summer that I was almost ordering from it every day, which is just insane. Getting things that I could easily go and walk to get. There's like a burrito place by me that I was ordering all the time. I could easily go on my own 2 feet, get a nice walk, go outside. You know, most days I don't even go outside at all, so it would be nice to like be able to step outside and go and walk and get it myself. And I definitely love that places like Starbucks and Dunkin' are on these apps, but it makes it so dangerous. These are obviously places that I could walk to, or I could support a local coffee shop, but instead I'm like, oh sure, I'll get, you know, Uber Eats, Starbucks, like why not? What are you doing, Brooke? That's not it. And now now we will go into some of my best purchases for the year. First up, since I moved, I did get some new furniture, but there's really one item that stands out to me. I actually did reuse a good bit of my furniture that I've been using. I have a lot of stuff from IKEA, Target, but one piece that really stands out to me is my new couch that I got. It's not new anymore. I got it over the summer. It is the Article Sven couch. It's the smaller size. I believe it fits, like, technically they say it's for 2.5 people. I did my research on this couch, and I recommend if you're going to buy any sort of expensive furniture product, you also do your research. This couch is super comfy. I think it just looks great in the space. I'm kind of done with doing like the whole cheap furniture thing because every time I'm disappointed in the quality. I don't like the look. Of course, there's rare like gems you could find and stuff on some of these websites, but for the most part, it's worth it to pay for something that is going to be like a quality product, especially if you're going to be living on it. I sit on my couch for hours every single day. I knew I wanted it to be comfy, fit the vibe, kind of set the vibe of my whole apartment. So I have like this brown leather. The only thing with leather obviously is that you have to be careful, and I'm pretty clumsy, but I still have managed to keep it pretty clean and in great condition. It's super comfy, and I cannot recommend this couch enough. If you're in the market, definitely worth saving up. Of course, there are websites too that you could buy used furniture, stuff like this, for less of a cost, like a Facebook Marketplace or a Mercari, stuff like that. So definitely check those out before you just go and splurge from the manufacturer. But I will say Article's customer service was amazing. Now we have another designer item, one that was actually worth the money in my opinion. This is my Prada re-edition nylon purse. Now this is another one of those items that has been popular with bloggers, with Instagrammers, whatever, but this one actually does live up to the hype. I got this over the summer and it definitely has had its use, but I still use it all the time. I got it in this light tan color. I personally love the nylon material because it wipes off really nicely. I find that I don't have to worry about it getting like super dirty, because normally with light colored purses, they collect like grime and dirt and stuff easier, but I feel like the nylon does a good job with that. Easier to clean. This bag is just super universal because it's casual. Most of my outfits are casual, especially these days. So you could throw it on with the long strap. This little pouch here is perfect for AirPods or money. It just really fits my lifestyle well, I think. And that's the thing. If you're gonna invest in an expensive accessory, make sure it's something that isn't just, you know, to sit in the back of your closet because it looks cute, but it's something that fits with your everyday life. I also really like this strap here. You could actually take off the longer strap or this tinier strap, whatever you want to do, and you could use it almost as an evening bag. The possibilities with this bag are really endless, which I like. I think getting products that are universal, that you can wear multiple different ways, that is where to spend your money. This is it. I will say, I almost like want to get it in more colors now because I'm obsessed with this purse. This is another one that I got the end of 2019, but I'm still counting that because 2020 was a mess, okay? And that is my Nintendo Switch. I got this without even knowing a pandemic was coming, without even knowing Animal Crossing was coming. But I will say it has had its use this year, especially in those early months of quarantine, March, April. I found myself playing video games a lot, wanting to, you know, do something and have somewhat of a purpose, but I didn't know what that meant, and my Nintendo Switch definitely is it. I pretty much only play Animal Crossing on this. I do have this Switch, like the regular one. I know they have a light version, which is a little less expensive, but I do like this one because the remotes do pop off. You could plug it into the TV, and then these become like little remotes. So if you wanted to play a multiplayer game like Mario Kart, I think with all video game type of things, you have to know yourself and know if you're going to use it for longer than a day. I definitely go through phases with it still. Like I'll, you know, go into like a 2-week binge of like consistently playing it, and then I won't. But I feel like for the most part, it does make it worth it. If you guys have any other game suggestions for my Switch, please let me know. I also feel like I got this like at the perfect time because I know they were like sold out and stuff during the early pandemic because everyone and their mother wanted to play video games, so got in at the right time. Next up, clothing rental services such as Fashion Pass and Rent the Runway. Great investments for me specifically. I enjoy shopping, but I also do a lot of filming, photo taking, and I don't really want my outfits to be duplicated, like shown a trillion times. I just personally get sick of it. I know no one else is paying attention to that, but I am. So these rental services are great because you get to try out some items for a little bit, and then when you're done wearing them, you can send them back. They're cleaned for you, processed for you, so you don't have to pay any like dry cleaning fees, and then you just get to select even more items, wear them, send them back. It's like shopping, but it's nice for sustainability, of course, because it's keeping items in the like cycle, and it lets you be a little more adventurous with your wardrobe without actually having to pay hundreds of dollars for sweaters and dresses and stuff like that. You just pay the one like set fee. Right now I've been doing Fashion Pass. In the past I've done Rent the Runway. I know Nuuly is a big one. I haven't used that one, but I think that they're all very worth it, at least for my lifestyle. And the last item that I will put on here, I debated if I should put this on or not, but I do think that it fits especially given the price and whatever, is my SoulCycle at-home bike. I got this in like June. I swore to myself, you guys, I was like, I'm never gonna get that. I have no need for a Peloton, whatever. I don't even know how I got convinced into it. I went on the website one day and saw that it was like available for delivery in my area, so I did it. The bike is definitely costly. I do not use it nearly enough as I should. I will be completely honest with you guys. There was a period of time though that I did, and the bike has paid for itself in the amount of uses that I've done. If you were to equate every ride to the traditional cost of a SoulCycle class, like going in the studio, I did the math and mine broke even. I do pay $40 a month for the Equinox like online membership. That is like a recurring cost, but besides that, it's just the price of the bike, and then the recurring cost is the $40 a month. I haven't been in person to a workout class since before the pandemic. This definitely has helped to keep me motivated. I have it here in my apartment in New York. I might be bringing it back to Long Island just to create a little more space here, and I go back to Long Island like enough. I got my mom into it. She got some spin shoes and she does it when she's here. It's definitely great. I mean, I still think that in-person workout classes are a little bit different. Like, you can never fully replicate it, but given the current circumstances, to get your like fix, if you're interested in that, I think it does the job. It definitely helps with motivation. It definitely is an expensive item, so I would say like you have to make sure that you're already interested in spin to get this bike. I had done SoulCycle classes for many months leading up to the pandemic kind of closing everything, and then once I saw the bike was available, I did it. Okay, I did it. Items like that are worth it if you make it worth it, I think. So for me, I've definitely tried to make it a priority. Like I said, I'm not doing it nearly enough right now, but the bike itself is great quality. It's not huge, so it fits even in my small apartment, and they have a bunch of different class options. You could choose like what type of rides to what type of music. They did a good job with it, I will say that. I think that is going to wrap up this video. Best and worst purchases of the year. I'm interested to hear your best and worst purchases, if you have one that really like stands out in either category. I think money management is something that we're all, you know, working towards, and everybody has their vices, you know, like the areas where you just will not spend. So it's interesting like hearing, you know, that some people would spend their money on food, and some people on fitness, and some people on clothes. Like, it's interesting to me. If you enjoyed this video, it really supports my channel so much. If you go ahead and give it a big thumbs up, leave me a comment, like I said, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys all in another video super soon. Bye guys.